Okay, so good evening, everyone. I am the Deputy Secretary of Sundarban's House. We are absolutely thrilled today to welcome you all to this exciting session from idea to impact, navigating the hackathon processes. Tonight, we have an incredible opportunity to learn from someone who has truly mastered the art of hackathons. And now, to take the session forward, I'd like to hand it over to Vedant and the session host. Over to you, Vedant.
Hello, everyone. Before we dive in, I'd like to take a moment to introduce our esteemed speaker, Nikhil Guru Venkatesh. Some of you may already know him as your MLTTA or a fellow student in your degree, but he'll be guiding us through the process of hackathons today. Hackathons are more than just competitions; they are platforms for innovation, problem solving, and collaboration also. Whether you are a first time participant or a seasoned competitor, this session will provide you with valuable insights into ideation, execution, and what it really takes to win a hackathon. Some of you may know that Nikhil is a 9-time hackathon winner, including being a Smart India Hackathon champion of 2024. He has participated in over 35 national level hackathons, secured finalist positions in 4, and has an extensive experience in AI, NLP, and research. Alongside being an AI engineering intern at Techolution, he is also an AI and NLP research intern at the University of South Carolina. With such a wealth of experience, he is here to guide us through this journey from idea to impact, sharing his success stories from hackathons. We are honored to have you today with us, Nikhil. Welcome.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Vedant. I'm very happy to, be here. I know it's a Friday, so I wasn't really expecting these many people to join the session. So I'm very thrilled to have such a, amazing turnout. I'm hoping that it's not just for the beginning, but we're going to have these guys for the entire session too. So thank you for the introduction. But most of you, if you've been in the degree for any amount of time, you probably know me. My name is Nikhil. I used to work in the Student Placement Council for the last 2 terms. I have, gracefully retired now, and I am, just a full-time hacker, a full-time whatever you want to call it at this point. So apart from that, I like writing in my free time. I do, I do quite a bit of things. I like watching anime. So just to give you that relatability factor straight up, I'm just telling you all those things. So this isn't going to be like a traditional session. I don't really like, opening up a PPT and explaining things to people. I don't think that's how you should have sessions like this. This is going to be an AMA, which is ask me anything. I'll, feel free to drop a question in the chat box, or, raise your hands. I'll be more than happy to interact with you live. So just to give you a brief introduction, most of you guys here probably have never attended a hackathon or don't know what it is. So I'll start with a brief primer on what hackathons are, and then after that, we can open the floor to questions. So yeah, first things first, what is a hackathon? They are literally coding challenges where you pick up a business problem that a company or a government entity is having, and then you find a way to solve that problem using software, hardware, AR, VR technology, or sometimes even an idea is just fine. The thing that makes hackathons hard is that they usually take place over 24 to 36 hours, sometimes 48 hours as well. And they test your teamwork, your creative ability, your critical thinking, and a lot of other aspects that aren't really found in normal DSA challenges or normal coding challenges, right? So that's what hackathons are. I have, in the last 1.5 year, I've probably participated in over 50 hackathons at the national and the international level. I had the good opportunity to win 9 of them, including the Smart India Hackathon. And in my experience, it's not about what you build, it's about what problem you solve. That's the most important thing. So I guess most of you here are probably going to listen in to understand how to identify these problems, how to solve them, and how to build software very quickly to find a proper way to solve the business problem that you want to solve, right? So yeah, I hope that kind of covers the basics of everything, and I'll love to hear from you guys. I want this to be like a conversation, keeping it open. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, or if you guys want me to explain something, I'd be more than happy to do that. Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions they want to begin with?
You don't have to be shy. Okay, if someone
You
like
can
me
type it
can,
also. It doesn't matter. You can type it.
Rishabh,
Yeah,
Rishabh.
Rishabh.
Yeah, hello. My first question will be I was hoping to participate in a hackathon, but the question statement seemed like the problem is beyond to solve with my current expertise. They were also asking to use some AI tools that are specific to their company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they have mentioned like Olama, they have mentioned to use also. So
Mm-hmm.
such technologies, how as student, how we can like learn so quickly how to implement those technologies, then approach the statement within this given time period. How do you tackle this type of problems?
So here's the thing. When you go into the software world, no one is going to give you time to learn anything, right? Let's say, for example, you join a company as a C++ developer, just to take an example, right? You might be given whatever you learn in your textbooks, in your DSA classes, that's fine. That's one thing, that's one level. But when you go into a company, they might ask you to use technologies you've never heard of. Like you might have to pick up MATLAB, or you might have to, code in CUDA, or you have to pick up kernel development. It can happen, right? So in that case, when you're in a company, you usually have a very small turnaround time, like 1 day or 2 day, to learn these skills and implement them. Correct. So this question is actually very prevalent in a lot of hackathons, especially in company sponsored hackathons, where if you can show off that you can pick up a particular skill in like 1 day or 2 days and implement it properly to solve a problem, and a company is willing to invest in that, right? So how do you do this is a pretty good question. It's a pretty important question also. The only answer is to try things out until they start
And
working,
also,
right?
means how do you deploy? Like you do you try to make a totally fully functional? That is not possible to make totally all with all the features to deploy it. But what are the main things you focus on to present during a hackathon?
So, see, the first thing that you'd want to present in a hackathon is a minimal viable product or an MVP, right? Something that can solve the business problem in its raw form, right? And this is very important because if your solution, even if it looks ugly, if it's solving the problem, it's going to be fine. It's going to win. But if your solution looks very fancy, if it has amazing UI and it has a lot of cool stuff, but it's not solving the problem, then it's useless. So instead of focusing on having a completely scalable application, focus on having something that solves the problem. It can be like a Streamlit application or a basic HTML website also, that's fine. But as long as it's solving the problem, that's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Suhas had raised their hand. You can go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
yeah, go ahead, Suhas, I can hear you.
Hello, and I'm Suhas, currently pursuing foundation in electronic systems and
Mm-hmm.
also doing a BTech degree here and offline. Okay, so my question here is a bit challenging. Like, whenever I see hackathon pages, they just start with throwing some very advanced words, cyber security for routers or something like penetration testing. How should we tackle these terms and break down these features, or the concept which they just gave, and find a problem statement around ourselves and solving our own problem as well as participating in the hackathon?
It's pretty simple, man. You have to go and Google things. Or if you're like new, you have to go and ask AI about all these things, right? See, there is no replacement to market research. There's no replacement to domain expertise, right? You're going to have to
Mm-hmm.
go out there. You're going to have to read articles. You're going to have to pick up these things. And I'm not saying you're going to understand it by in your first hackathon itself. The first
Mm-hmm.
hackathon I actually participated in was called Kavach in my second year, and it was a cybersecurity hackathon. We had to make a
Okay.
mobile application that could identify phishing links inside of SMSs. I didn't understand a single thing in that particular problem statement. They said, advanced UI, reactive UI. They said stuff like, kernel development. They said, incoming, Android level application features or feasibility features and stuff. Like, I didn't understand any of it, right? But that's the beauty of a hackathon. You have to start somewhere. You have to accept the fact that you don't understand what's going on, and you have to piece by piece, bit by bit, you have to pull it together, understand the solution, and then move forward. And today that's very easy because you have AI tools like Grok, you have ChatGPT, you have Claude. You just have to ask those questions and get answers to it very simply, right? Like even today, all IIT Madras students get access to Perplexity Pro for free. So if you're not leveraging those tools that you have available with you, then you're losing out on a lot of advantages, right? So the most important thing I'd say is curiosity. You've accepted that you don't know something, so keep on going until you understand it completely. And it's a time taking process. It'll take a couple of
Okay.
days, maybe months, but you'll get used to it eventually.
Okay, sure. And one more question from my side is, how should we coordinate with it as a team? So one of the major problems is there will be team leader and we should listen to him. But how should we present our ideas in a presentable format so that it will be very effective and they will be listening to us and giving little importance to our ideas? Because here in the college there are third year students who are not ready to listen to our first year students. So how should we grasp those their attention?
So first things first, I'm not sure why you're pitching to third year students. If your seniors are not ready to listen to you, then you're very bad seniors to us. I'm sorry, because like
Okay.
apart from that, situational circumstances I understand, but the most important thing is people don't care about technology, they care about problems. All right, if I walk up to you and say I have a mobile app that can save you if you're alone, you're not going to care about that. But if you say, hey, if you have a sister, or if you have if you have a friend that's a girl, or if you have a sister, or you have an elder sibling, and you're not feeling safe to let them roam outside after dark hours because you live in a pretty unsafe environment, could you think of having a assistant or an application that could save your friends or your loved ones if they are in danger? Now that's a problem you actually care about, and now people have your attention, you have people's attention, like, okay, this is a problem I actually care about, and these guys are saying that they've solved this problem. So then people will actually come up and start listening to you. So always start with the problem and how you're solving it rather than the technical implementation. All right, technology anybody can do, problem solving not everybody can do. All right, so focus on that aspect.
Okay, this was a great advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Suhas. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Tejasvi has raised their hand.
So, hello, Nikhil sir. Good afternoon.
Hi, Tejasvi.
So, I want to ask related to your AI researcher job at the company currently you are doing. So, I want to ask that what are the extra things we have to do other than the college diploma things to get a research opportunity in the companies?
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward answer, Tejashvi. Read research papers, find research that you're really interested in, read the papers, implement them, and once you have like a solid implementation of the paper, reach out to the person who like wrote that paper or somebody who is researching in a similar domain, right? Go ahead, just reach out to them and say, hey, I implemented this paper, you're researching in something very similar and I want to work with you, can you take me in as an intern? 90% of the time professors don't really get cold, like obviously they do, but 90% of the time professors don't really get emails from people who have actually implemented stuff, right? So if you say, hey, I have taken the time out to research this domain, I've built something related to this domain and I want to pursue it further, there is no professor on the planet that will think that you are wasting their time. They'll actually reach out to you and say, hey dude, I think you're doing a pretty good job, I'd love to take you in, and we can figure out the logistics of this very easily, right? So just try implementing things, find research that you're interested in, and start emailing people. It's pretty simple. All right.
From where we can read research papers?
Online, go to Google, man. Like Google
Like,
anything. Like for example, if you like, for example, if you're interested in LLMs, attention is all you need, is like the basic paper that you would need to implement. Go online, go to Arxiv, go to Google Scholar, get the paper, read it, implement it. It will fail, it will break, it will not work, you will be frustrated, you will go on YouTube, you will watch Carrie Manati or whatever reels you want for an hour, you will get frustrated and come back, you will try it again. This will go on for 1 month, and then 1 month later you suddenly know everything there is to know about attention. So it's an iterative process. Nothing is going to happen fast and easy. You're just going to have to search on Google, find the papers you're interested in, and keep on iterating.
So I want to ask, I have tried some papers like you said, attention is all you need, but
Hmm.
I have don't relate some of the basic concepts of that. Like there are so many concepts, like, but I can't relate or can't understand the topics of machine learning. So how
Hmm.
can I know? I also find some research in well, search in LLMs, trying it, but I can't understand it. So you can recommend any resources like books or any books so
Well,
that we can.
okay. So there are quite a few textbooks from a lot of different publishers. Honestly speaking, I'm not probably the right person to ask about this. I'm more of a build, break, and repeat kind of person. So I don't usually use textbooks a lot. I just go to ChatGPT and get my answers. But yeah, I think I'm pretty sure the guys at the house can go ahead and organize a session for the people who are interested in research as well. So I just went ahead and I did a couple of research papers in cybersecurity and adversarial attacks, which is how I got my research internship right now at AISC. But for every single person, the path is different. So I would highly suggest going out and finding something that you want to do for yourself. My advice might not work for you. So just in general, research, find something you like and repeat.
So this is my last question. Are there any labs or any communities implementing this IIT BS degree so that we can contribute in them and participate in that labs and work on the projects?
I mean, you would probably have to ask one of your deputies over here. They'd have a better idea of it because I'm currently in the degree level. I'm going to be graduating next term. So I don't really usually go around with houses and societies, right? So probably reaching out to the deputies would probably be a better idea. But yeah, there are plenty of other houses. We have RASOR, that's the research organization of our club. I believe we have Jarvis also, that's released very recently. So you can reach out to them as well. If I'm not wrong, there's a couple of robotics clubs also, if in case you're related to hardware and stuff. So yeah, just search, reach out, ask people in your house, and you should be getting answers. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
Mhm.
advice.
So let's take a couple of questions that are in the chat box. I've seen a couple of people trying to ask questions. So I have participated in a fair amount of hackathons. The problem I face that hackathons have predefined tracks. What I struggle with is that I don't know what to make projects on predefined track. I struggle to find ideas on what. Go to Reddit, man. Go to Reddit. Go to subreddits that you really like. Maybe startup subreddits or AI subreddits. Go and read what problems people have. Okay, everybody is going to come to Reddit to complain about their problems, and eventually you're going to find a problem that suits your track and that you want to solve. So pretty much you just have to be active in the space and you have to be ahead of things if you want to understand what problems people are having. That's pretty much it. So any other question in the chat? I'm foundation term 3. I've currently failed in OPP1, and even after solving the questions, watching video, the questions in OPP are overwhelming and feels hard. Even after trying many times, it feels like giving up. What to do? Don't give up, trust me. Okay, I also till date I don't know DSA. Okay, I have not done a single problem on lead code aaj tak. I just try building stuff. Everyone has their own different strengths. I hate DSA, I cannot do it for the life of me, I cannot. So if you're failing in the OPP, it's fine, right? Just keep on practicing. I know a lot of people who are in great places today who have failed the OPP not once, not twice, but 3 times also. Okay, so I think is it maybe your problem might be understanding the language. If the language is the problem, if you can't remember the syntax, then try practicing the syntax, just the syntax, not the logic. If the logic building is the problem, try to find better resources to learn from. I would personally recommend watching CS50 because sometimes the course curriculum doesn't really explain the best way for the best people. But if you really want to get into the nitty gritty details, then start going on Twitter, reaching out to people, asking your questions in live spaces. This might not be the best way to learn, but yeah, definitely if the traditional way isn't working, you have to try something else, right? So okay, I'm from Foundation DS and I'm preparing for GSOC next year. Will it be good to participate in everything or should I focus on one thing? Follow T. Follow T. Go wide and then go deep. All right. If you first, in order to understand what you like, you need to try everything. So try everything. Try web development, try AI and ML, try blockchain if you want to try blockchain. And then start, once you find that one thing you like, start going deep in it. So you're in foundation, man. You still have like 4 years of your life left, so spend the first year trying to understand what you really like, and then after that you can just go ahead and start building whatever you want. I am first year BTech student and currently in foundation level. I am just confused, don't know anything about hackathons. I feel like an NC, it feels like NPC as I attend many hackathon meetings but never learned anything. Tell me where to start or just give me the roadmap. Where to start? See, you cannot start building by going to hackathons. You have to start building and then go to hackathons. Okay. So, what I would advise you to do, take a step back, make sure your fundamentals are super solid, and then after that, start going to other events and stuff. Okay, so yeah, that would be my advice. Just 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm getting a call. Just give me a second. So yeah, the main problem with Fridays is they ask you to stay back sometime, and you always get extra work. So yeah, let's go ahead to the next question. I think we've gone through the chat.
We have got a lot of hands raised. we, we'll take Lokesh's question. Lokesh, you can go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, Lokesh. How are you?
Fine, sir. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm just, enjoying with you guys, spending my Friday with a couple of cool people. Go ahead.
Sir, I have two questions. First, which skill should I build before going any hackathon?
I'm so sorry, Lokesh. I can't hear you. Could you come again, please? Or if your internet's not good, you can type the question in the chat.
Sir, am I audible now?
I can hear you a little better. Yes.
Sir, I am saying that which skill should I build before going to any hackathons?
Learn one language properly. Okay, one language is enough. Like learn Python, learn Java, JavaScript. We'll learn one language pretty solid, so that, let's say for example tomorrow you have to build something, you can at least ask ChatGPT, or you can ask Claude or Lovable or Cursor or whatever tool you use. You can just go ahead, prompt it, and when you get the code, you can read it, understand it, and make changes and implement. Okay, I would personally suggest the easiest way, like if you don't know what to do, the safest route is always to go to web dev, right? Go online, search for something called the Odin's project. It'll teach you either JavaScript or Ruby on Rails. Choose whichever track you want, spend 6 months learning it. At that point, you'll pretty much learn how the internet works, how communications work, how web development works. And after that point, if you want to integrate AI and ML, or if you want to integrate, Web3 into your software, then you can go ahead and do that. So my genuine advice, spend 3 months at least learning one language and trying to get an understanding of the skill, and then after that you guys can go ahead and build whatever you want.
So thank you for the answer. And my next question is how to build a team for hackathon.
So find people that are interested. Don't, like, I did this mistake when I started out building in hackathons, right? I found the best people. Okay, and that was the worst mistake I ever did. I found that one guy who published 9 apps on the app store, and I asked him, hey, do you want to be on my team? I asked that one person who did 6 internships in the second year, and I was like, Ajao mere team mein, I want to work with you. I found that guy who had a Code Forces ranking of 1600, and I was like, yeah, be on my team, I want to work with you. It was probably the worst decision of my life, because those people did not understand my vision. They did not gel well with me. Everybody was trying to show off how much they knew. Okay, so my genuine advice would be to find friends who are willing to like spend extra time, extra effort for like whatever you want to build. And even if they're not the best, most talented people, because you have AI and you have all these other tools, you can usually pull your weight in a hackathon. So as long as you have people who are willing to go that extra mile, any team is fine, right? 4 to 5 people, friends that you vibe well with, that's enough.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm.
The next hand raised is Ankit Jain.
Thank you, Vedant. Hello, Nikhil. My question is, I have three-part question. First of all, I am a software engineer guy, computer
Hmm.
science engineering guy, and
Hmm.
currently in second year of our degree.
Okay.
So I have participated in some of the hackathon, tech, gig, etc. But they are software and algorithm oriented, and I'm good at it. That's okay. My first question is: in today's era of AI and ML, are we going good about software engineering and this development, software development, and algorithm based thing, or should I switch my line to completely to AI and ML?
I mean, like, do you like what you're doing right now? Like, be honest with me. Do you like what you're building? Like, if you're in algorithms, if you're in the DSA and the competitive space, do you like what you're doing
The
right now?
thing is, yes, the thing is, I love software engineering. I love algorithms, data structures, and all this playing with all these things. But I also love AI and ML.
Huh? तो फिर like see, if you're interested, no, look, see, never ever follow market trends. That is like the worst thing you could do for your career, okay? Because by the time you pick up the market trends, it's become old news and it's outdated. Or like today everyone's talking about AI and ML, but they're talking about it today because 6 years ago somebody founded Hugging Face, somebody founded OpenAI, somebody founded Claude, and all those companies, right? So
Right.
you need to have the oversight. Like if you're interested, genuinely interested in something, just keep on pushing towards that and you'll be in the top 1%. Now you say you want to get into AI and ML. That's perfectly fine. You're interested in AI and ML, you want to get into it, that's cool. But don't do it because the market is saying you should get into it, right? So there are certain skills at every single point in life that you need to pick up. Right now, I would say you're doing a great job by just picking up software engineering fundamentals, right? There are a lot of us out there that heavily depend on AI and ML tools to do the software engineering, but you're going not going to be like that. It's not going to take a lot of time for you to pick up AI and ML when the fundamentals are super strong, right? So I would genuinely say spend another year just grinding and getting your fundamentals strong, and then after that it doesn't matter. Tomorrow quantum computing comes out, tomorrow web 4 comes out, whatever they want to call it, you're going to have a solid background and you're going to be able to build on it.
Thank you, Nikhil. Part two of my question is uh, the best three platform where I would like to grind myself in problem solving. What you do, like for hackathon and this.
Like there's no such thing as like problem solving for hackathons, right? Hackathon matlab hi problem solve karna hota hai. So there is no such thing as a platform. If you really want to like build mini projects on the side and like go and present them in hackathons, you can definitely do that. I think that's easier and better for you to do. Like I gave advice to somebody else as well. Go build, like find problems on Reddit, build based on that, and then post it on LinkedIn, Twitter, or whatever, and you'll get attention from people. And then after that you can just go to hackathons and build whatever you want. So pretty much.
And my last question is the top 10 hackathon contest happening in India, or
Top
maybe means
10.
whatever be means say top n or whatever you want to say for all of us, for all of us.
अच्छा ठीक है. So do you want something
Maybe
that has a
maybe you
DSA
can
round in it or non DSA, वो बताओ.
uh, for all of us. So non DSA.
अच्छा ठीक है. तो पहला वाला होगा EY. EY has a annual hackathon every single year. It happens in it starts in November, ends in March. Go for that. It's probably one of the biggest hackathons that you have in India. If you get into it, congratulations, you have a confirmed internship in EY. Smart India Hackathon is also the biggest hackathon. I'm not sure how many more years they're going to continue it, but for the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to happen. SIH is also the biggest one. You have Amazon's Hackon, but that has a DSA round. Flipkart Grid and Amazon's Hackon. These two are probably the most important hackathons you're going to see. Okay, these are like direct, they get you internships in Flipkart and Amazon, so try those out. Unfortunately, like they do have DSA rounds, so if you're like a pure developer like me, you're probably not going to like it, but it's fine, it's okay, you'll get used to it. And there is Hack the Mountains. Hack the Mountains is also pretty good. It's a private organization, MLH, which is Major League Hacking, organizes it every year. It's a pretty cool competition. Apart from that, you have a lot of hackathons that are organized by IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, IIT Guwahati during their annual tech fests. They have like flagship events that they conduct every single year. So that's like 20 different events that happens at any time of the year. Like परसों ही ट्रिपल आईटी बैंगलोर का हुआ था. So if you guys want to keep updated with these things, go to Unstop. Most of these platforms are like most of these people post on Unstop. Go there. If you want international hackathons, go to DevPost or DevFolio. Those two are the go-to websites that you need to search for. Apart from that, pretty much just asking people, talking with them, looking at college, social media pages also helps. But yeah, there's no such thing as the top 10, but these are the most useful hackathons I could actually share with you. That's it.
Thank you, Nikhil. I'm done. Yeah.
We'll take one more hand raise before we go to the chat Q&A. Babul, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Vedant. So, hello, Nikhil sir. I'm Babul, currently in foundation level. So, my question is same as many of us. I also have two questions. So, the first one is so basically, what's delivered on such event is mainly a demonstrable version of an idea, like
Hmm.
building prototype. So, because as I said, I'm a beginner. I've never been to any hackathon, and I am very curious to know that in that short frame, what makes participants ready for understanding the need and integrating the technology, as they may be very centered on technical aspects, but what about the design thinking? I mean, they may not have any formal training for that.
That's fine. That's fine. See, like I said, in a hackathon, the main goal is to solve the problem. It's not to solve the problem efficiently, right? That's kind of like the main difference. Okay. So if you have an idea, even if like 90% of the time, once you're done with a hackathon, if you can even come up with an idea that solves the problem, that's a huge benefit for you. All right. Even if in the final round during the presentation, you go up there with a PPT and like HTML page that does nothing, okay, the judges are still going to be impressed if the idea is good. All right, so I would personally say don't worry too much about design thinking and technological aspects. Just go ahead and try to solve the problem in any way you know how. Okay, and if you're able to do that, eventually you'll be able to integrate the technology also. Tech is something that will take time, but problem solving doesn't take time. That is something you just have to come up creatively and naturally, right? So yeah, that's that's the advice I could give you for that question. Don't worry about the technology or the design thinking, just go and build. Solve the problem, not build, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir. And the second question is, so it will be more of a personal seeking personal advice. Like I am doing this degree full time, like standalone.
Hmm.
So I hope the many of us find familiar with this. Like, what opportunities do you suggest us to seek when it comes to hackathons?
Anything that can lead to an internship. Okay, so if you're going and sitting down for a hackathon, make sure that there is a company sponsoring it. If it's an offline hackathon, there is a very good chance they're going to be offering an internship after the end of it. If it's an online hackathon, make sure you get the LinkedIn contacts of whoever is organizing it. After the hackathon is done, what you're going to want to do, go email the person that was organizing it, or email the sponsor of the hackathon, whoever was the judge or the MVP or the POC, whoever it is. Tell them, hey, I built this, I think the hackathon was really cool, I want to get on a one-on-one call with you so we can discuss a couple of things. Like, not just discuss a couple of things, I want to know how I can improve my application. And if they're truly interested in what you built, they'll get on a call with you. You can talk with them for 10 minutes, and suddenly at the end of it, you're either going to get a lot of good advice or you're going to get an internship. And both of them are equally valuable for someone who is doing this degree standalone. So what I would genuinely advise you to do, don't focus on placements right now, focus on networking, focus on building your skills. And by the time you're at the end of this degree, at that point you won't really need to depend on anybody else, because you'll have an entire network and you'll have a set of skills that you can rely on, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And so, like most of the hackathons, like SIH, we as a standalone cannot participate. So, what would your take here? Like, what can we do? I mean, what opportunities do we have as an alternative?
I mean, like SIH is probably the worst hackathon you're ever going to participate in, guys. I'm going to be genuinely honest with you. Apart from the scale of the entire thing, apart from the problem statements you get, pretty much the organization is like really bad. So, like the entire setup of SIH itself is pretty skewed. You don't want to take that as your like shining beacon of hope or anything. There are hundreds of hackathons going on at any given time on the internet. So, go ahead, search for them. Go to Unstop, Devfolio, DevPost, find them. 90% of these hackathons don't care if you're a student or if you're an adult or if you're doing a degree or if you're standalone or whatever. Okay, if you need an ID card to get into a hackathon, that is the last place you want to be. You want to run away from there. Okay, so don't worry about that. Don't take SIH as like some big thing that you need to participate in. It's one competition. There are hundreds of other better competitions out there. So just look for them. Look for the other opportunities. That's fine.
Okay, so that's all, and thank you so much for the answer.
You're welcome, Babu.
Yeah.
So we, as Vedant said, we'll go to the chat. Quite a few people over
Sir,
there.
also at the end of this meeting, please provide your LinkedIn and so that we can connect.
हाँ ठीक है. I can do that. I'll drop it in the chat. कोई बात नहीं. Um,
We
okay.
have a question from Priyanshu Day. I am in foundation and have a good knowledge over Python. What should I do next? Can you give some advice for how to go for development?
Okay, so for web development, you can go ahead and, like I said, start with the Odin's project. You're going to have to eventually learn JavaScript. It's the worst language on the planet, but unfortunately, people still use it. So learn JavaScript, get solid with it. Then eventually, you're going to have to pick up a framework like React. I personally recommend picking up Svelte or Angular because those are going to be in demand very soon. React, any like even ChatGPT can build React today. It's not a big deal, so don't go for it. Either Angular or Svelte, those frameworks are probably the best for you. And uh, क्या बोलते हैं, learn databases. That's also one thing that I basically get to the point where you can build a CRUD application in most of these frameworks. Okay, that is probably a point that you want to reach. So CRUD, if for the people who don't know, is create, read, update, and delete. This is like the basic standard framework for most applications online or anywhere. So if you can get pretty good at building CRUD applications and doing those operations on databases and on reflecting those on the front end, then you're pretty much set. So I would suggest you've learned Python. That's great. Implement it on your backend side. Learn JavaScript. Learn how to implement it on your front end side. Learn how to do CRUD very fast and start iterating from there. That's it.
Next, Amanpreet has asked a question. Winning a hackathon is an exciting achievement, and winning nine is truly remarkable. Could you share how your psychological state evolved from your first win to the ninth win, and what were your biggest lessons learned throughout the journey?
So this is going to sound like a very odd way to answer this question, but the more hackathons you win, the more sad you start feeling. Okay, the reason why is because you become very fairly, you start realizing all of your downsides. You start realizing all the things you're bad at. Because see, my first hackathon win, I was really happy. I won a hackathon at Microsoft, and it was really big. It was really energetic. So yeah, I really enjoyed that particular hackathon. However, I was pretty happy after I won it. My second and third hackathon were in IITs. I won those as well. I had a couple of CTFs that I won. And by the time I got to the sixth hackathon, my mindset was like, dude, I could do so much better. Right? Because in between each win, there were a lot of different hackathons I participated in. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to win those. Right. So your mindset starts setting in. Instead of looking for those wins, you start looking at improvements. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure if that's a good psychological progression, but now instead of looking at whether I won or not, it's not black and white anymore. It's a plethora. It's like a plethora of results for me. Like, okay, was I able to implement an application that is scalable? Was I able to implement good design thinking? Does this solve the problem? Is this something that I would use personally? Is this something that I can deploy on a cloud provider? Right? I start thinking in terms of like multiple results rather than win or lose. And this is something that's helped me even when I lose hackathons, right? Because let's say, for example, I lose a hackathon, but I made a pretty good application. I would still chalk that up as a win because suddenly I've learned something from it. And, out of the 10 metrics that I have, I've probably accomplished 6 to 7 of them. So I'm probably pretty happy about that, right? So instead of looking at results like a win or a lose, start thinking of them in terms of metrics that you can improve upon. All right, that would probably be my advice. It's probably not what you wanted to hear, Amanpreet, but that's the answer from my side.
We've got a DSA related question from Anand
Great.
asking whether you should start DSA with C++ or Java.
Good question. It depends on where you want to go in life. Java is always a pretty good place to start. I personally would like Java because that's the language I started with. It's a pretty cool language. But in today's day and age, go for C++. You can learn CUDA, you can learn kernel, you can learn OS pretty fast if you learn C++. And it's one of the best benefits of C++ is you can go back to C, right? You get very, if you're good at C++, it's very easy to port back to C. So you probably want to go for that.
Another question is what from Saurabh is that what how would you differentiate between a capture the flag and a hackathon?
CTFs are cybersecurity related, hackathons are building related. Okay, CTFs may you are given like challenges, cybersecurity challenges that you have to solve. It can be OSINT, it can be steganography, it can be anything. Okay, but when it comes to like what do you call it, hackathons, the domains can be pretty wide and varied. So yeah, that's how it is.
We've got a question from Prithvi. As a first year college student with very little and basic programming knowledge, how should I start from scratch? Like how what do I need to upskill myself? I had participated in SH 2024, but only went like 2 rounds in college before we got rejected. With a wide range of problems, how should I go about it?
So like pretty simple. Start building stuff. Get used to the habit of building stuff from scratch. If it's a technical problem, okay. So I'm not exactly sure what stopped you from going to the final round of SIH. Maybe you had a perfectly good idea, your judges were bad, or maybe you had a good idea but you weren't able to articulate properly, or maybe the technical aspect of the project was bad. I can't particularly pinpoint and give you that advice. So instead, I'll give you a pretty general advice. Something the same thing I've told everybody here. Go ahead, start building, find out what you're good at, and just keep on iterating on that. All right. So if you're good at problem solving, keep on iterating on problem solving. Go to case study competitions, go to ideathons, and get sharpen those skills. If you're good at DSA, go to DSA competitions, sharpen that. So it's pretty much a game of trial and error because you're in your first year, you have a lot of time left. I would say don't stress too much about it, just keep on iterating until you find something you like.
Ja Vignesh has asked, is online hackathon the same as an offline hackathon? What can be the major difference, and is there any disadvantage or advantage of an online hackathon?
ऑफलाइन हैकाथन में जमीन पे सोता है, ऑनलाइन हैकाथन में कंबल पे सोता है. डिफरेंस वही है, एवरीथिंग एल्स इज द सेम. If you want to sleep in bed, do online. If you want to sleep on the floor, go offline. I have plenty of pictures to show you guys if you want to see the difference, but I'd rather not. I look very ugly in all of them.
We'll take a few raised hands now.
Mhm.
Rishikesh Mana Gundla.
I don't know why are you here, Rishikesh. Why are you here?
I am
He
here
is
to
not
ask a
that
question
Rishikesh.
to Nikhil sir. Like,
He is not
Why are
that
why
you
else would
here,
I be
Rishikesh?
here?
Okay.
Why else? Why else would I be here other than to ask a question to Nikhil sir about hackathons?
Ask. Go. नहीं नहीं तेरा
Okay.
बाद में देख लूंगा ऋषिकेश, मैं देख रहा हूँ, ठीक है? पूछ.
No, I'm not. I'm genuinely not here to like troll or anything, but I have a genuine question for you.
ऋषिकेश भैया,
Do you?
वेट, आपने झूठ बोला अभी. एक भाई.
I was confused. Okay. My question to you, Nikhil, is were there any hackathons where you got extremely nervous or afraid because of the way people surrounding you were like top of their fields or something like that, where you were like, nahi hoga ye, just this is not possible. I can't win this.
So I mean, like, starting with her in my
Mm-hmm.
second year when I started doing this stuff, I was there, and it wasn't until maybe my fourth year when I went to Rakuten. So there was a hackathon called Rakathon. I spent 3 days in their Bangalore office building stuff. The one thing that I kind of didn't realize was I was competing with people from Samsung, IBM, Google, Amazon, right? Like employees. I'm not talking about students. I'm talking about employees. So there were
Mm-hmm.
60, 70 teams that were like just full blown employees, and 30 teams were like just normal students. Okay, so we were one of those 30 teams all across India that were selected, and I was like competing with people from that had 6 to 7 years of experience. These guys spent 2 hours creating their own WebKit, okay, like from scratch. One guy was creating his own operating system to enhance his operational feasibility. Okay,
Okay.
and I'm sitting here wondering why in the world I'm here. I'm not able to get an API to work.
Uh-huh.
I literally, it was like the hardest 72 hours of my life. But
Uh-huh.
eventually, I mean, like we lost that hackathon, bro. Like it was really bad. We got completely steamrolled. I'll be honest with you, but I learned a lot of stuff. Okay, I was able to like pick people's ears. I was able to see what production looks like at that level. So even I wouldn't call it a failure.
Mm.
I'd say it went pretty good. I learned a lot of stuff, but definitely I was there. It happened. It was very, very painful, but
That's Yep. That's very interesting, sir. My next question to you is, if
fair
you
enough.
were to go in such hackathons today,
Uh-huh.
where you just know your team is just outclassed by just sheer number of years of experience, how would you approach it now? Would you be panicking a little bit, or would you just focus on what you're doing?
I'd say, dude, I'm good at one thing, okay, which is like selling, marketing, and like solving problems. Okay, so I'd
Mm,
focus on that. I'm like very
mm,
good at taking a problem and selling it to people. So I would definitely prioritize that more than anything, because I know that despite having 6 years, like if other people have 6 to 7 years of building experience, I know I have 6 to 7 years of experience selling, like telling stories to people. So I
mm,
focus on your strengths. All right, there are
mm,
certain things
mm,
you can do, certain things other people can do. There is no
mm,
use in worrying about what other people have and that you don't, right? So just
mm,
go for it. And honestly speaking, you should be happy if you're in a place where you are the worst person, right? Go ahead and bug those people, ask them questions until you get to the same level. That's kind of like the progression you have in life. You will always be in places where you are not the best person. It's your
mhm,
responsibility to become one of those people. That's it.
mm. Okay, my next question to you. If
No, next
you
question, Gujne. I know what kind of questions are coming. Ask the other, let the other people ask.
Okay. Thank you for
I'm
your time,
joking.
Nikhil sir. I appreciate your time, Nikhil sir. Thank you.
I'm joking. Okay, fine. He's gone. I studied 11th and 12th with Rishikesh for people who are pretty curious. You guys can actually pester him if you have any questions based on research and stuff. He doesn't work, he researches at DRDO. So if all those people who had research based questions, please bother him. You guys are getting 2 sessions in
Please,
the
please,
span of
please
one.
don't bother me. Please don't bother me. I know nothing. I'm quitting now. Bye. Thank you.
He's like that only. Don't worry. I'll send his LinkedIn if you guys want it. Don't worry. तो हाँ, 2 सेशन एक ही साथ हो गए. Yes, let's go next. Vedant, who's next?
Yeah. Akshay is next.
हेलो निखिल भैया.
तू भी इधर आ गया. बाप रे.
नहीं, जेन्युइन क्वेश्चन है.
पूछो.
तो मैंने आपका लिंक्डइन पे देखा था, आपने आइडियाथॉन वगैरह ऑर्गेनाइज कराई थी. अगर मैं खुद की हैकाथॉन ऑर्गेनाइज कराना चाहता हूँ तो क्या क्या स्टेप्स रहते हैं एंड क्या क्या चैलेंजेस रहते हैं एंड क्या प्री रिक्विजिट्स रहने चाहिए इफ आई वांट टू कंडक्ट एन हैकाथॉन, और ऑनलाइन एंड ऑफलाइन दोनों में क्या डिफरेंस रहता है?
I mean, see, or if online organize करने में कुछ problem होता नहीं है. You start with the G form, you get people interested, you create a landing page, and kind of that's it, right? You ask people to submit your submit submissions, and that's it. You will go ahead, you will review them, and you will say, "Acha, theek hai, this guy was the best. He's the winner. That's it." Or he or she is the winner. That's it. But offline's a bit more complicated. पहली बात, you need a place that you can organize this for like 2 to 3 days, right?
Venue.
This is like something that you have, like people are going to be staying there for 2 days, so it needs to have all the basic amenities, like a place to sleep, a place to freshen up, a place to eat, and stuff like that. So that's the major challenge, and these places are usually expensive, and I'm talking about really expensive, like 1 lakh 2 lakh per day kind of fees. All right, so that's why a lot of hackathons are organized by colleges, because they have hostel facilities on campus. Okay, but let's say for example you still want to risk it and do a 24-hour hackathon. Find a good sponsor, find a good place that you can organize it, and after that you need a good landing page, market it, and get people to come over and join the hackathon. All right, it's not that complicated organizing it. Like दिखने में बहुत complicated लगता है, but if you have like 2 to 3 people with good connections, it's pretty simple. And I'm pretty sure you have enough people with good connections.
अरे अरे, हम कहाँ कैसी बातें कर रहे हो भैया. माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वुड बी, आपका फिर आइडियाथॉन ऑर्गेनाइज कराने का क्या प्रोसेस आता है एंड क्या क्या चैलेंजेस आए?
So actually, I reached out to a guy. His name was Lakshit. He was from Microsoft, and he said he wanted places that he could organize ideathons all over the country. So I reached out to him and I was like, "Yeah, I have a college here. Like, I don't have a college, but like I study at XYZ college, and it has a pretty good auditorium. If you guys want to come over and organize it, come over and organize." They said, "Yeah, but you're the only person on the organizing committee. We don't have the bandwidth for anybody else." So I talked with my college professors, and I started getting arrangements done, and it took 1 or 2 days, and we set things up. We had the ideathon. It was pretty chill. So it looks pretty complicated, but it's straightforward. You just need to follow 3 to 4 steps. You need the revenue, like you need the money, you need the location, you need the people. If you can get those three, it's pretty
ओके।
straightforward.
कोई चैट में पूछा है आइडियाथॉन क्या होती है?
Ideathons are like hackathons, but you don't build anything, you just solve problems.
सोचने के लिए जीतते हो?
Yes, ideathon matlab sochne ke liye, you come up with an idea, that's it.
ओके, थैंक यू निखिल भैया।
Mm-hmm.
We take
बस।
Suraj's questions next.
Hello, Vijay.
Hi Suraj.
Vijay, my question is personal. So, how much money you are making right now?
How much money am I making right now? अब like खुल्लम खुल्ला तो सेशन पे नहीं बोल सकता, ये रिकॉर्डेड भी है, तो लाइक
Just
हाँ,
the figure, Vijay.
लाइक ठीक है भाई, ढंग का बना लेता हूँ, लाइक खर्चे निकल जाते हैं हर महीने।
बस खाना पीना
We,
चल जाता है।
हाँ भाई, बस हो जाता है, घर के जितने भी खर्चे हो जाते हैं।
देखो
Like I can
सेशन
live
में
in
है, गेस
Hyderabad
कर लो।
pretty comfortably, so that's fine. Like वो नंबर है, just pizza and Audi का, अरे बाप रे।
अरे
Like
निखिल भाई, हमने वी हैव हर्ड कि आपने अमेज़न की इंटर्नशिप रिजेक्ट करी थी। कैन यू एलैबोरेट ऑन दैट?
भाई इसको ना, लाइक वेदांत इसको पहले निकालो उधर से। Okay, so ये स्टोरी ना बहुत अजीब सा है। I participated in Hackon, which is the hackathon Amazon conducts, and I got through till the second round. But unfortunately, because they didn't have, like, they had hiring restrictions, they said, we're going to waitlist you. Okay, so I got through the rounds and I was pretty confident I would get through the interview also. The problem is they waitlisted me. 4 months later, I had already picked up another internship. I was working on something else, and they called me and they were like, yeah, do you want to intern? Like, do you want to interview with us again? Like, yeah, no, nahi karna hai mujhe. Because somebody who spends 4 months to get back to me, like, at least starting out, I didn't want to take that, risk working with a corporation that looks at me like I'm just some sort of number on a spreadsheet, right? So I decided that, yeah, it's probably better for me not to go for it. And yeah, I dropped the idea of the internship at Amazon. I rejected their internship call. So, I mean, like, I didn't reject it, outright reject it, but yeah.
रिजेक्टेड।
भाई तू ना। So someone's asking Techolution ka experience kaisa tha? It was pretty good. I'm still working in Techolution. So I work there as an AI strategist now. I got converted from an intern. So I'm pretty happy where I am right now. I work in a lot of different departments. So yeah, pretty simple. It's a good place. It's a good place to work at.
yeah, we'll take Prashant's question. I have interest in astronomy. How data science can be used in astronomy, astrophysics? How should I plan this?
I mean, there's a lot of scope for it, okay? Like astronomy, astrophysics is a very interesting field. There are a lot of, like, you guys probably heard, right? Like 2 years ago, they were able to map the image of a black hole. Do you think they actually went out there and took a picture or something? All of it was AI and ML generated. Okay. That was like the most impressive AI and ML image we ever generated in the last couple of years. So yeah, there are a bunch of researchers out there that are working to apply AI and ML and data science to astrophysics. Reach out to them. I would say better than asking me, go and ask them. Worst case scenario, they will ignore your email or ignore your whatever, your LinkedIn or your Twitter DM. But most of the time, if you're genuinely interested and have an actual question, they'll get back to you. So go out and ask people how they're implementing it today, because 5 years ago we had a lot of image related, like for example, satellite rovers mein bahut kaam aata hai AI and ML, like mapping your terrain, identifying how far a distance is, like geo positional distance estimate करने के लिए बहुत use होता है data science, right? Like compressing audio and image files from space stations all the way to Earth. They have a lot of AI and ML. Like you use variational autoencoders for that. So that is also something you guys would probably want to explore if you're interested in it. So yeah, lots of applications. Go ahead and just look at. It's pretty good.
We have a question from Anirban Das. My basics of Python are sort of okay. Whenever I start to do question solving from HackerRank, I can't build logic. What can I do to help this?
Pen paper use karo. Don't look at the terminal, use pen and paper. It's quite simple. Like guys, go follow Striver if you're struggling with problem solving. Yeah, seriously, like that man's a legend. He knows what he's doing. So go follow him. Don't follow me. I'm pretty bad at this. But like उनको पता है कैसे करना है DSA वगैरह, तो go and ask him. Like go, not ask him, go and follow him. That is my advice.
We have a question from Shraddha Swapnil. How to start networking with people?
Start networking with वही है ना, like for example, you're in this session with me, राइट, गो एंड डीएम मी ऑन लिंक्डइन, बोलो कि भैया मेरे को तुम लोगों के साथ बात करना है, खत्म, वही हो गया, नेटवर्किंग स्टार्ट हो गया. डू दैट विद 5 to 6 other people, you have a close circle now. Do go and ask those 5 to 6 people to connect you with another 5 to 6 people. Like वो बहुत पुराना डायलॉग रहता है ना, मुझे थैंक यू मत बोल,
सलमान खान का।
बस जस्ट यू नो लाइक क्या बोलते
तुम
हैं
तीन
उसको.
लोगों की मदद करो और उनसे कहना.
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली हिमांशु ने बोल दिया, वही करो ऐसे ही. आस्क वन, लाइक टॉक विद वन पर्सन, आस्क देम टू इंट्रोड्यूस यू टू 3 other people. हाँ वही.
Omkar Arvind has asked, are there open hackathons for people out of college?
Yeah, plenty. Like go to dev, like भाई devful और devpost में जाओ, इतने सारे hackathons मिलेंगे, जीवन भर करते रहोगे, खत्म ही नहीं हो जाएंगे, पक्का, let me tell you.
We have a question from Khazwali. I hope I'm spelling that right. Hello, I'm Khazwali. I recently participated in a hackathon, but the only problem I faced is that I am a Django developer, and while I am building backend, we struggled in integrating the front end with backend, as our teammates don't know how Django works and its template engine. So, what should be our strategy?
So I faced that exact same problem. There was a hackathon called the CBIT Hacktoberfest, right? That is, कैसे बोलूं, एमएल इंटीग्रेट करते करते बैक एंड फ्रंट एंड इंटीग्रेट करते करते बहुत टाइम हो गया था, एंड वी weren't able to show off a presentation. Already we weren't able to present our solution because we spent too much time in integration. We weren't able to integrate it. Okay, so I think one, like, see, learn how to integrate front end and back end using API calls. All right, or like if you can deploy the back end and have a basic HTML front end, or build it using Streamlit, like Django and Streamlit go very well together. So if you can do that, I genuinely suggest doing that. Okay, like front end say API call to the back end, make sure that they are not deeply coupled, make them uncoupled, make them as unseparated as possible, just have API calls between them back and forth. That should be solving your problem. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Nikhil, can we take one or two more questions, or are you running out of time?
we're going to have one last question, Vedant. Unfortunately, I am short on time, so yeah.
So we'll take Prithivi's questions. They had raised their hand.
Yes, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Bhaiya. So I have one question. Like, in some hackathons, we have a criteria like we do not have to use AI-based code. So how to handle that? Like, I recently went out in 4 to 5 hackathons. So in 1 or 2 hackathons, we had to code it from scratch, like fully scratch. And other than we maximally used GenAI and just did the integrations and stuff. So how to handle that? I can say.
I mean, like, see, if a hackathon is asking you not to build using AI, I am genuinely concerned for them at this point. Okay? I mean, there are so many people out there that are using AI to build completely functional startups, and तुम लोग बोल रहे हो कि अरे hackathon में AI use नहीं करना है. So, like, I see, if you want to build from scratch without using AI, then yeah, sure, that's like your choice. You can definitely do that. But I would genuinely
it's much
say
time taking, I guess. Like it
it's
takes
time
much
taking.
time.
Yeah, of course, it's time taking. You'd have to go to like documentation, you'd have to do a bunch of other stuff, but at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, kya bolte, I mean, it's a good experience, you can definitely learn a lot from it, but I wouldn't suggest doing it, because hackathon
Like,
matlab
like
build fast.
recently, I had gone. I had a college hackathon in my local
Mhm.
area. So they had the criteria that no plagiarism will be there. So we just
प्लेजरिज्म अलग है, एआई अलग है, ठीक है, प्लेजरिज्म और
नहीं
एआई
मतलब
अलग है.
उसमें
प्लेजरिज्म
उसमें
मतलब
ऐसा है कि जैसे मैं V0 मान लूं वर्सल का, अब V0 से हम लोग ने यूआई कंपोनेंट्स जस्ट इंस्टॉल किया था, तो उसमें भी वो लोग हाथ उठा लिए कि नहीं होगा, आपको दूसरा कोई लाइब्रेरी से यूज करना पड़ेगा ऐसा। तो ये
Very honestly, bad hackathon, bro. Honestly, I'll be very fair with you, because you shouldn't be looking at these kind of nonsense things when you're organizing a hackathon. ठीक है, तुम्हारा यही मतलब होना चाहिए कि can you solve the business problem. तुम, like for example, real life में कोई नहीं देख रहा है cursor. Do you think people use like build cursor from scratch? They
no,
obviously
it's
used AI
yeah.
tools. तुम लोग सोच रहे हो कि lovable was built from scratch. नहीं, they also used AI to build it. अरे भाई, Versal, like Versal, since we're on that topic, Versal is the company that maintains Next.js. They used vibe coding to push a bug into prod, and now Versal, the entire Next.js, the entire library has a 9.2 vulnerability, security vulnerability. ठीक है, So, I mean, like everyone's doing it at this point, bro. If you're not embracing the AI first mentality, and if you're saying that तुम लोग pre-made components भी use नहीं कर सकते हो, then that's just bad organizing on that part. So, like, don't take it too much to heart. If you're like a hardcore coder and
No,
want
no,
to just
I'm
build from
not like that. Like I basically specialize on front end, and mostly in most of the hackathons, I with my team use cursor, like all the AI stuff, maximum of the AI. So hardcore is not about it.
So like don't worry about it, man. Like you whatever build whatever you can, use whatever you can. Okay? I'm telling you, like so like before AI, do you think all of the hackathon winners used to like pick up like build projects from scratch? मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना
No, no,
75
no. It's not
75
possible. Like it's in time only. It's not possible within the stipulated 21 hours or 12 hours.
नहीं
Any time,
भाई
it's not possible.
लाइक भाई परसों एक स्कैंडल भी हुआ था, याद है? 75 lakhs का
Like
someone
brave,
forked
brave
brave
thousand.
browser and won. तो वही होता रहता है हैकाथन, मतलब ही फास्ट एंड फ्यूरियस है, ठीक है? यू बिल्ड व्हाटएवर यू कैन इन द टाइम यू कैन, तो लाइक don't worry about it all. Those guys are probably they tried doing something, it didn't work.
वैसे 75 लाख दे कौन रहा है
Okay,
हैकाथॉन
okay.
में?
गवर्नमेंट भाई, हमारे इनकम टैक्स के पैसे हैं भाई.
भाई आप खुद दे रहे
ते
हो.
मध्ये मध्ये मेसेजेस येतात ना मला IITचे ओपन सबमिटचे हॅकेथॉनच्या
Sorry,
बद्दल
come again.
बोलतोय.
Sorry, Omkar, come again. अच्छा ठीक है, I guess he
तो बघ तो बघ काम आता है ना जरा. Mio for doggy. Two doggy.
I mean, please mute him.
yeah. Ajay, theek hai, guys. So I'm afraid that these were the only questions I could actually take for today. Unfortunately, I do have to jump back into work. But you guys can feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I think someone posted my profile in the comments, so feel free to reach out. Some of you might already know me personally, so you can DM me at any time. And yeah, thank you for listening to me for an hour, I would have to
Thank
say.
you for
You
joining us,
have,
Nikhil. This has been really
Did my
insightful,
request.
and I think we've covered most of the questions. Thank you everyone for joining and your questions, of course. Have a good evening.
I'm very pleased to see 64 people actually stayed back for the entire session. We lost 20 of them, but I'm very happy that 60 people stayed. So thank you guys so much. You guys asked some great questions. So yep, awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
Thank
Sir,
you.
please accept my request in LinkedIn, on LinkedIn.